Here on the Market Day Report, first of all, let's go through these numbers provided to us by Bar Chart. These are live and instant quotes from the futures. July corn down 18 and a half, 665 and 3/4, and December down 22 and 3/4. We're basically 20 cents plus lower in most front five contracts of the corn market. For soybeans, it's July down 30 cents now, 14.78 and a half, but well off of the low. So is November. It's down 35 and a quarter at 14.03 and a half. July Chicago wheat is down 3 3/4 cents right now, 6.77. That would leave us 20 cents off of the low. July Kansas City wheat down 8 1/4 at 6.29 3/4. Minneapolis wheat for July down 13 3/4 at 7.51. Again, here we're about 21 cents off of the low. And then July cotton's down 2.10 at 84.90. Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading. He's joining us now. Todd, what a day this has been in the markets. And I know that you were texting and tweeting out here this morning some of your commentary. Set this up for us and what we're seeing here and what this could mean.
Good morning, John. You know, I wrote and I thought, Manic Monday or Massacre Monday, it's ugly out there right now. Now, again, I don't think that the patterns are going to change. I think they're going to remain bullish, but it obviously is very, very much torture here if you own them or if you're a farmer. And I think that, again, this is why you're always hedged. But there's a lot of volatility. We've got a lot of things going on. From in a financial standpoint, you've got the Fed and all kinds of stuff about inflation, which could be having an effect on these prices as well. And I suspect you might have had some margin calls as well, which created some of this heavy selling this morning. We'll see how it plays out. Certainly, it's nice to see corn off down limit and soybeans back, basically cutting their losses in half. And wheat could get positive today before it's all over. So the picture is better now than it was a lot earlier.
You bring up a good point here, is that we are off of the lows that we saw earlier. So it makes you wonder just how convicted this market is. If this was just managers, maybe as you brought up, maybe just a flush action here. But these fund managers, they're not ready to just completely sell out and just walk away from this thing just yet. They must. Is there the possibility that maybe in the back of some of their, maybe even the end users' minds, thinking, we still don't have this crop made. We still have tight supplies.
John, I would much rather be a buyer into this sell-off than a seller. I think that selling here is a mistake. I think that when you look at the overall pattern, we expect a lot more volatility. Now, again, I never want to see, limit down moves. That's always a little bit scarier and uglier. But overall, I think there's still a real solid potential that we have a very, very big year, and I think a lot will depend on the weather and what goes on. And we do have a tight supply, and as the rest of the world opens up, it's going to create a bigger demand as well. So for now, it looks okay. Again, concerning, but they look okay.
Okay, well stated. We'll come back in just a moment. I want to get your thoughts on the livestock trade and those outside markets as well, Todd. We'll do that next here on the Market Day Report. All right, let's get into the livestock trade numbers now here on the futures as well. And over here in the June live cattle market, we're up 45, but you go out to that August, we're up $1. October's up 87 at 126.65. Now the feeder cattle market, $2 to $3 gains earlier on have kind of faded just a little bit. August is still $2.72 higher at 153.90, but that October that was up over $3 now $2.67 higher at 158.15. But for the most part, all still on the higher side here by at least $2. July hogs down $1.97 at 118. August hogs down 2.10, and the October is down 120. And the beef cutout here at midday. This gives you a little bit of an indication here. The choice down $1.53. The select's down 54 cents. Only 39 loads moved. Pork cutouts lower for the carcasses by 256. The loin's down 569. The ham's down 344. The belly's down 351. Todd, the product market here starting to fade a little bit on both of these proteins here. But what about overall? How do you feel about this protein complex?
Well, as you know, we were negative the last few weeks, but I kept saying I wish I was an owner. Well, I'm now an owner. And I think we're going a lot higher. I think, and at least in the cattle markets were going to go much higher. You know, hogs are a little bit tenuous here. I mean, you know, listen, we're only, 10% away from the all-time highs from the PED virus. And, it's a little pricey, but I could see a big move up still. I could see, we're long all three. And of course, now with all the ballparks opening and all the stadiums and venues and entertainment opening, it's going to have a bigger demand for food. And I think obviously, the barbecue season, everything is pointing to much better pricing. And I would suspect that these rallies will continue. I would think hogs might slow down because they're getting kind of frothy, but I don't think that they're in danger of going down.
What about these outside markets here? How do you feel about the economy when you look at this? The Dow down 216 points. The dollar is lower today by 45 at 95.05. What's your thoughts over here on the economic side of things, Todd?
Well, I think that we're making a dramatic mistake. I think the Fed has totally lost, reality. To call inflation transitory, I mean, ask any farmer about their fertilizer and fuel costs. This is not a good situation. This cheap money that continues to fuel these markets. I mean, yeah, they're a little bit lower today, but if you look at the NASDAQ, it's up at a record high. So, to me, the economy is not as good as they're trying to make it out to, but you've got inexpensive or cheap money that the very wealthy have access to, which continues to fuel these markets. I think we're going to be in for a pretty rude awakening with this inflation cycle, although we continue to see the Federal Reserve deny that there is any real inflation. But as I say, just ask any farmer. He'll tell you that there's real inflation.
Yeah, good point. Mr. Horowitz, always a pleasure. You take care. We'll talk to you again very soon. Tammy, back to you.